Great Lakes region for this week. Let's talk about what's going to be happening further down south, because you guys are included in this February frenzy as well, just not with the snow, which is probably a good news for a lot of you who are maybe still thinking about the snow that you did get not that long ago. We're talking about rounds of rain and thunderstorms from each of these storms. So we're going to see some localized flooding because of this. Now, the good news is a lot of areas are still facing drought conditions. So for all of these areas, I mean, we need the rain. Not all of us are facing drought conditions, but those of us who are, we'll take it, right? But we don't want the localized flooding that can come along with it. Here's overall the rain totals that we're talking about. And this is not for any one storm. This is kind of a combination from tonight through Thursday, so the next two storms that we're going to see. Some of us just seeing 1 to 2 inches, but this area in the darker green, which does include Nashville here, Shreveport, Jackson, Mississippi, you're seeing Tuesday through Tuesday night. The area highlighted in yellow here. Now, flash flooding is the main concern, but locally damaging wind gusts, that cannot be ruled out. We can't rule out hail. We can't even rule out an isolated tornado or two, though that's not the most likely threat that we are watching. Here's the next area that we're watching for a severe weather risk. This is Wednesday into Wednesday night. A little bit of a larger area here, but still just that some risk, level 1 out of 4 on that AccuWeather storm threat index. Entire state, that break is going to end come kind of mid to late week, depending on how you kind of classify Wednesday night. That's the start of this timeline for this atmospheric river event, and it's going to go through Friday morning. So really a good chunk of your week. Here's the overall what to expect as far as who's going to be impacted by rain, snow, and a little bit of a wintry mix. Let's talk about some of the impacts, because it's an atmospheric river event, so that means heavy rain and heavy snowfall to the mountain regions. Places like Los Angeles, down into San Diego, up into San Francisco, that's where we could see some flooding, and especially we're watching LA because of those recent wildfires, recent burn scar areas. Those are areas where we're more likely to see some of that flooding and even landslides. So something we'll be keeping an eye on. But then even into the mountains where we get the heavy snow, we could see big travel impacts, even road closures at times in the Sierra possibly, and even blizzard conditions are something we'll be watching as well. So let's go ahead and dive into this on Future Radar and how this plays out. As we set things, see the heavier pockets of rain indicated by the yellows and oranges here, and even some of those darker green shades. We continue to see this play out and move further inland, but even Thursday evening, we're still seeing that rain into Los Angeles, into San Francisco, down towards San Diego as well. It's later that this really moves inland, and then ultimately that storm is going to go right across the country and end up being a weekend storm for the Northeast. But back to the West Coast, this is the area we're watching. Well, we're going to continue the stormy pattern as we get to midweek. Now, there's going to be some overlap with this early week storm and the midweek storm. This starts Tuesday night, and this is the overall footprint. You'll notice the snow and ice go a little bit further north than with this early week storm. So some areas that just got snow are now going to get rain or maybe some freezing rain and sleet. Now, overall, these are the impacts that we're talking about. Like I said, the ice and snow areas extend further north, but we do have a more expansive icy corridor, so that is going to create freezing rain, sleet on top of some areas where we already got snow, or maybe they already got some freezing rain and sleet as well. This, of course, is going to have some widespread travel impacts into the south. We have a flash flooding risk in a couple areas with a severe weather threat as well. So here's our overall snow map. Like I said, this goes a little bit further north, but we do still have a 6 to 12 inch snow area. This goes through areas like Chicago, Kansas City, even Wichita, St. Louis, is that ice map. So there's kind of a cutout area where we're just looking at the rain, but everywhere else we're looking at some mix of freezing rain, sleet, and snow in some areas. Areas further to the south, we're just looking at the freezing rain and sleet, and that's why we have the larger impact area a little bit further to the south as well. Here's that severe weather risk area for the south. This is Wednesday night. We're looking at the risk of flash flooding. Can't rule out some hail, damaging wind gusts, and can't rule out an isolated tornado or two.